Licensed games have been in circulation since Hollywood figured out they could pinch every hard-earned dollar from gamers around the globe. From classic titles like The Simpsons Hit and Run, GoldenEye, Walking Dead, Mad Max, and even SpongeBob. And even licensed titles like... So today, on our very first episode of a gaming retrospective, we are going to be taking a look at Family Guy Back to the Multiverse to see if it's really worth a playthrough. But first, let's take a look at the brief history of this game. Back to the Multiverse is based off of a Family Guy episode, Road to the Multiverse, where Brian and Stewie explore the multiverse. Self-explanatory. In terms of development, I couldn't find much on the history of Back to the Multiverse, but I did find a small interview from Unseen64 from a former Heavy Iron employee. He said, "We stopped working on them around August. They weren't that far along, but both were up and running just fine. Everyone working on it transitioned into working on another version of it after that." He would later say the Wii version was dropped first and then the 3DS one quickly after. I think it was a combination of wanting us to focus on making one version of the game and growing concerns of how it would perform on those platforms. Back to the Multiverse never got released on a Nintendo system. If you told me this game did not perform well, I would not question it. Game rankings and Metacritic gave it a 42.35 and a 39 out of 100. The PS3 version did 35.87% and 40 out of 100, and the PC version did 25% and 42 out of 100. However, the game did get nominated somehow for an Annie Award for Best Animated Video Game. Cha-ching. Have you guys ever cut a neighbor's grass for change, washed a car, or babysat for money? This is what Back to the Multiverse feels like. It's just a means to an end. Nothing is notable, nothing stands out, it just happens. Every level is basically the same deal. You start the level in a new dimension chasing Stewie's evil twin. Every enemy feels the same. They are either standing and shooting or trying to shoot you from afar. And sometimes they even make a straight line for you with no like weaves or anything. But what's even worse is every gun feels oddly similar. What I mean by that is every gun is boring and uninspired as a story that surrounds the game. You get 4 weapons and a throwable, and you can switch between Stewie and Brian, which could have been very cool, but like everything in this game, it comes with 100 flaws. There is no difference between the two characters, which is a huge mistake. They could have had perks, abilities, and character-specific objectives. They kind of do have some character-specific objectives, but it's 1 or 2 missions and few and far between. There is an in-game store, of course with purchasable skins. I bought all the health upgrades in the first couple levels, which seemed like a balancing issue. The plot in Family Guy Cutaways is more interesting than the whole game. But seriously, the plot is very cut and dry. Stewie's evil twin Bertram gets a hold of Stewie's portal device. From universe to universe, building an army from the universes to destroy Stewie's universe entirely. If the writers had any self-awareness, they would have given Bertram a fake twirly mustache. The voice acting doesn't do much favors. Like, most of the dialogue is ripped straight from the episodes it is referencing, which can be cool, but this game is just a huge reference like without that. But when you take low-res Family Guy audio quotes and throw them beside original audio, it's very lazy and jarring. Granted, there isn't much original dialogue to go off of, but a good example is Stewie and Brian have dialogue over this Santa villain who's very evil. Oh, he's so evil. And he even gets a monologue, and the monologue is undercut by the scene that takes shortly thereafter, where Stewie says to Brian, "I've never met Santa, but I want to kill him." This has obviously been ripped straight from the episode. if you couldn't tell by the audio quality. The problem is how the game is a big reference and it shows, and the pattern gets very obvious with dialogue, like I just explained, to whole levels, even bosses. One of the game's levels is directly based off the wheelchair transformer episode. I usually don't mind references when they're done right, like The Simpsons Hit and Run. As a fan of Family Guy and video games, I love seeing licensed titles, and I love seeing these episodes that I love continued in different mediums in clever ways. Again, there is a difference. There is a correct way to do it, and there is a wrong way to do this. We will never know the intentions, but the outcome is a very lazy, rushed project, as ugly and as hated as Meg, but that could have only been produced by the likes of the Evil Monkey. Besides a bargain bin, I'm not sure where you would find this game, as it is not on Steam, probably because they are embarrassed of it, but if you can find a copy, burn it like the plague. I can confirm this game does not hold up. I am not sure if it ever did. Just stick to the episodes it's derived from. I have been Jason from Reddlight Gaming. Thank you guys so much for watching this very first episode of a gaming retrospective. This is a passion project of mine. I have tons and tons of games I really want to bring to this format, although these videos take a lot of planning and research to execute, so bear with me if they take long. Thank you guys, and tell me your thoughts. Have you played back to the Multiverse? What have you thought of this game? Tell me down below. Peace out. Have a good day, guys.